Hello guys, and welcome to another video on the lead up to the Affliction launch. And yesterday we talked a little bit about blood magic and the Warlock of the Mists. So today let's talk about another new ascendancy option that you can choose in Affliction. That's the Warden of the Magi. And this new ascendancy has a lot of interesting stuff going on. There's tinctures which apply powerful effects to your weapons and boost up your flasks. There's a new reservation skill, Bark Skin, which looks quite good. Looking forward to see the numbers on that one. But today's video is all about this ascendancy notable right here, the Oath of the Magi. Now this notable grants some powerful effects, but forces a bit of a trade-off, and there's 4 separate modifiers here. Let's talk about the first one. Defenses from equipped body armor are doubled if it has no socketed gems. So defenses are armor, evasion, energy shield, and ward, but there's no ward body armors. Importantly, this modifier will double the defenses granted by your body armor when it's active, and that double bonus will then be modified by any relevant increases or more multipliers that you have. You can think of it as functioning in the same way as the Juggernaut's Unbreakable Ascendancy notable, only it works for all defenses. So it's much stronger than a 100% increase to these defenses, as that would then be additive with your other increases. So how can you take advantage of this? Well, there's the obvious Calm's Heart unique body armor, which simply has no gem sockets to begin with. Oath of the Magi will give Calm's Heart a bit of a boost, which is nice, but the armor total on this body armor isn't all that high to begin with, so it's not a huge benefit. However, the Abyss exclusive unique body armor, Shroud of the Lightless, is very strong with Oath of the Magi. Shroud of the Lightless can drop in a variant that has 2 Abyssal sockets and another one that has 3 Abyssal sockets. These Abyssal sockets can be socketed with Abyss jewels. And they're jewels, not gems, so they won't count as having socketed gems in your body armor. You'll need to avoid placing gems in the remaining normal sockets on this body armor, but in return you'll have the defenses of the Shroud of the Lightless doubled, which is a very considerable amount of evasion and energy shield. I expect this body armor will be quite popular this league. There's also the replica Shroud of the Lightless, which has 6 Abyssal sockets, but this one has significantly less defenses. Next up, let's talk about the boot modifier on the Oath of the Magi. 30% increased movement speed if you have equipped boots with no socketed gems. This modifier is going to be really nice in the campaign if you can pick up the Oath of the Magi early and avoid placing gems in your boots. Having 30% increased movement speed through campaign progression will feel amazing, and I definitely recommend trying to go for that on league launch. However, how can you make use of this later on? The obvious option that came straight to mind for me was Calm's Roots. Calm's Roots have always struggled due to 2 main problems. One is the lack of movement speed, which can be partially negated by a corrupted implicit modifier, and the other is having no gem sockets, of course. Then when Eldritch Implicits came along in patch 3.17, this was another blow to Calm's Roots. However, in the Affliction League, you're going to be able to get 30% increased movement speed while using Calm's Roots if you're spec'd into Oath of the Magi, which is going to feel really nice, I think, especially considering how impactful the other modifiers on Calm's Roots already feel to play with. But there's also Bubonic Trail, another Abyss exclusive unique item. Again, this drops in 2 variants, one with 1 Abyssal socket and the other with 2. You're going to want the one with 2. Again, you'll be able to socket Abyss jewels in these sockets and still gain the bonus movement speed from Oath of the Magi as long as you don't use the remaining normal gem slots. You're going to be pretty fast if you're using a magic Abyss jewel too. And of course, do keep in mind that you can craft an Abyssal socket onto gear using a hollow fossil. This is going to be useful if you want to take advantage of Oath of the Magi, but you absolutely must have a particular modifier for your build. For example, a really important Eldritch Implicit. So in my opinion, the body armor and the boots modifiers on the Oath of the Magi are probably the stronger ones, but the gloves and helmet modifiers definitely have their uses too. The helmet modifier grants 50% to all elemental resistances if your helmet has no socketed gems, and it's going to be useful for builds using a 2 Abyssal socket Light Poacher in particular. There's also the Hail Negator as well. And for the glove modifier, I think if your build is already using Tomb Fist or Command of the Pit, you're going to get a lot of use out of this modifier, and for builds like the ones using Light Poacher as the main damage source, they'll be able to make a lot of use out of all of the items talked about in this video, and gain a massive amount of upside from speccing into Oath of the Magi. But overall, I think this is a really nice ascendancy notable, and I must say I'm a big fan of powerful modifiers like these ones which force a trade-off. I think they're great and I'd like to see more of these types of modifiers in the game. But that's going to be it for this one, guys. Let me know what you think of Oath of the Magi, and let me know what you think of the Warden of the Magi ascendancy in general by commenting below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.